She raved to her bridesmaids and was saying how unfair it was that her photos had to be ruined because of this guy. Oh, and now we're disability shaming. Hello, beautiful people. We've all seen our fair share of dramatic weddings, but these brides, they take my day to a whole new level. Let's get started. Bridezilla is embarrassed by groomsman's wheelchair. To be clear, I wasn't at this wedding, but my mom was a bridesmaid and she said I was allowed to share it as long as I didn't say any names. It's wild, LOL. So some of the information might be a little inaccurate. So a little background. The groom has had this friend since they were little. I will call him Tyler. And when they were teens, Tyler got into a really bad car accident that left him paralyzed from the stomach area down and has been in a wheelchair ever since. It kind of rattled their friendship for a while because the groom was the one driving and got distracted, leading to the crash. They made up after a while and became as thick as thieves once again. Wedding planning comes around, and obviously the groom wanted his best friend to be a groomsman. The best man was his father. And it had been agreed upon like 6 to 7 months before the wedding. Everything was supposed to be fine, everyone had their suits, and the wedding was a few weeks away when the bride confessed to her bridesmaids that she thought the wheelchair would ruin the wedding photos, and asked them if they thought it would be rude to tell him he wasn't allowed in the photos. They ended up telling her to talk to the groom about it because it wasn't their place to give advice about this. She took their advice and asked the groom the same question, to which he replied it wasn't Tyler's fault and he was his best friend. He wanted him to be in the photos no matter what. The bride was so mad. I think she thought that he would be okay with it and would agree to not let Tyler be in the photos, and wasn't expecting him to disagree. She raved to her bridesmaids and was saying how unfair it was that her photos had to be ruined because of this guy, and how he would make all the photos look unsymmetrical or something. Oh, and now we're disability shaming. My mom wasn't too sure the exact reason because she just kept saying it was unfair and she thought the chair was clunky and would look out of place among the rest of the wedding party. This whole thing caused the bride and groom to fight so much, my mom genuinely thought they would cancel the wedding. She had never seen them fight so much, their whole relationship of 4 years. Also, during this whole fight, Tyler had no clue this was even going on, as the groom thought it would be asshole-ish to even mention it to him. So the only people involved were the bride, groom, and the bridesmaids. The groom eventually talked to his dad about it, and even though I don't know a whole lot, I know that his dad was the one who convinced him to go through with the wedding because couples fight, and if you think this is big enough to ruin your relationship over, then it wasn't a good relationship in the first place. In my opinion, I think this will just be the first of a whole plethora of future fights, but what do I know? So, day of the wedding came around, and from what I was told, there was no fighting or resentment at all visible during the ceremony, and everything went as planned. Tyler, obviously, was in the photos, and none the wiser to the bride's dislike of it. The bride, though, only posted the photos that didn't have Tyler in it, and cropped him out of a few of them that did have him in it. I don't know much after all this, but my mom said the groom was pissed AF because of this, and drunkenly ranted about it to his group of friends, Tyler included. I'm pretty sure this was the first time he heard of this. Tyler was pissed, rightfully so, but he was very mature about it and didn't say anything to the bride, even though she would have deserved it. I don't know what they're like behind closed doors, but they clearly are putting up a front in public and haven't said anything else to anyone about it. Tyler and some of their other friends haven't spoken to the bride once since the whole rant, and the bride still hasn't posted any pictures with Tyler in them, though the groom did on his own Facebook. This is all I know. If I hear anything else, I'll update this, LOL. Holy! So, perfect pictures basically matter more than having everyone together and happy. Got it. How freaking insensitive to the groom as well, who, by the way, was the one driving. I can't with this one. Let's see what others had to say. I don't know who needs to hear this, but no one looks at your wedding photos more than once. They're not going to be in Vogue or People magazine. Brides these days have lost the plot. If my husband-to-be had a problem with my friend being in a wheelchair in wedding photos, I would have called off the wedding. That's a fundamental humanity test, especially when the poor man was crippled by the groom's driving. She failed that test in a spectacular fashion. Girl, took the words right out of my mouth. All right, let's move on to the second story. Not enough gifts for the bride to be happy. Being out of state and the only bridesmaid, I knew I was going to spend a bit of money on my best friend's wedding, but this is starting to seem a bit over the top. I spent upwards of $1,800 on purchasing plane tickets to go to her wedding and a hotel to put us in for the bachelorette party, then proceeded to pay for the bachelorette party, which put me at about $2,100 on this whole trip. I'm also currently trying to buy a home, but knew the wedding was coming up and expected to spend a bit of money and wanted to provide my best friend with a good time. I made a point to get a banging hotel in a dope city where we could have a good time for 4 days, and that's what we did. I thought I did pretty damn good until she started making comments about how no one got her a gift, no one made a point to see what she wanted as a honeymoon present, and the comments continued the whole frickin' time during the bachelorette party. Here I was, paying for us to be in a hotel for 4 days, paying for every damn event we went to, drinks, food, etc., and all I heard was, no one thought to get her a gift. What? Bachelorette party over, wedding happens, they go on their honeymoon and I fly back home. I thought that was the end of that. I'm broke as shit now, but had a good time and was happy to provide a cool experience for the two of us. Days later, she hits me up, saying she went through the wedding cards everyone gave to her and mine was empty. Just wanted to make sure there wasn't something in it that I didn't account for or miss. Bruh, did I not do enough? Please correct me if I'm wrong and should have done more, but what in the actual fuck? I don't live paycheck to paycheck, but I also don't have an ass load of money to spend, and I seriously thought I did damn good for what I had. And now they're asking people to fund plane tickets and hotel for their second honeymoon out of the country? Okay, honest question. When does it stop? I cannot even imagine being so ungrateful to my own friend who spent her own money to make sure I have a good time. This is not a friend, if you ask me. Let's see what others said. Greedy people are like black holes. They suck everything up around them and just can't stop. Enough said. Well, that's a wrap. If you like today's stories, don't forget to subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.